When I married Paul, I knew he came with responsibilities. The biggest one being his teenage son, Ethan. Ethan was 19 in college and still adjusting to a lot of changes. His mother's absence, the new dynamic in the house, and having me, Heather, a new stepmother, stepping in. From day one, I tried to be more of a friend than a disciplinarian. I never wanted to replace his mom, but I wanted to be someone he could trust. We had our awkward moments in the beginning, of course. He kept to himself a lot. But gradually he warmed up. We'd talk over coffee in the mornings during weekends, share thoughts on movies, or laugh at silly things online. Slowly, I saw a quiet, thoughtful young man who just needed someone to really see him. One afternoon, while I was folding laundry in the living room, Ethan walked in looking unusually distressed. He paced the room, rubbing the back of his neck. I asked him gently, "Something wrong?" He hesitated, then sat on the couch beside me. "Heather," he began, his voice low, "can I talk to you about something? Kind of personal?" I nodded, giving him my full attention. He took a breath. "It's kind of embarrassing," he said. "But I really don't know who else to ask." That's when I realized how hard it must be for a young man, living with a stepmother and a father who worked long hours, to navigate his problems alone. I encouraged him gently. "You can tell me anything. I promise I won't judge." He looked down, fiddling with his hands. It's about me. Physically. Think something's wrong. Or maybe not wrong, just different." The tension in his face told me this wasn't something superficial. I was careful not to pressure him. "You don't have to say anything if it's too hard. But if I can help, I will." He finally said it. "I think I'm too big." I blinked. "Too big?" He nodded, embarrassed. "Down there." There was a long pause before I responded. I wasn't expecting that kind of confession. My cheeks grew warm, but I kept my expression neutral. "Has it caused problems?" He nodded. "It has. I can't even get through a conversation with a girl without worrying about it. I had a girlfriend last year, and it didn't go well." She freaked out. "I haven't really tried since then." My heart softened. This wasn't about pride or showing off. Ethan wasn't bragging. He was genuinely worried and isolated by something he didn't understand. I spoke carefully. "I'm glad you told me. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But I think this is less about your body and more about your confidence." He looked confused. "What do you mean?" "I mean, the right person won't see that as a problem. The wrong person will. And you need to learn how to be confident and communicate, not shrink into yourself." He exhaled like a weight had lifted. "I thought you might laugh at me." Smiled. "Never." That conversation changed our relationship. Over the next few weeks, Ethan came to me more often. We talked about body image, relationships, communication, and self-worth. He started opening up about his mother's passing and how it affected his confidence. He even asked me to help him dress better, carry himself with more maturity, and prepare for conversations that might come up with future partners. One Saturday morning, Paul left early for a conference, leaving Ethan and me home alone. Ethan came into the kitchen while I was making pancakes. He looked different, confident, collected. "I think I'm ready," he said. "For what?" I asked. "To start seeing someone. For real this time." "That's great," I said, smiling warmly. I wanted to say thank you. You helped me more than you know." That afternoon we sat together and talked about what it meant to be in a healthy relationship. He asked respectful questions about emotional connection, about when to be vulnerable and when to take space. I told him everything I'd wish someone had told me at his age. We even laughed about awkward moments in dating and how we all go through them. He seemed more at peace than I'd seen him in a long time. And for the first time since I'd entered his life, I felt like I wasn't just Paul's wife. I was someone Ethan could count on. One night, after a long day, I was curled up with a book when Ethan knocked on my door. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" he asked. "Of course," I said, patting the bed beside me. He sat, looking hesitant. "There's one thing I never told you. That night I came to you about my problem. It wasn't just physical. I was scared. I thought I'd be alone forever. My heart broke a little hearing that. You're not alone. And you never will be. He looked me in the eyes. That's what I needed to hear back then. And you said it in your own way. You gave me hope. I placed my hand gently on his. Sometimes that's all we need. Someone to believe in us. There was a long pause, filled with a kind of unspoken understanding that didn't need words. In that moment, the lines between us weren't blurred. They were clear. I wasn't replacing his mother. I wasn't stepping into his personal life beyond what was appropriate. I was just someone who cared. The weeks that followed brought a lot of change. Ethan started seeing a girl named Allison. Bright, artistic, full of life. He introduced her to us one evening, and I could see how comfortable he was. Paul was proud and so was I. One evening, Ethan came into the kitchen while I was finishing dinner. Allison and I talked, he said. And I told her about you. How much you helped me. Smiled. You didn't have to. I wanted to, he said. You were there when no one else was. I reached out and gave him a warm hug. That's what family does. Years later, Ethan graduated with honors. Allison was by his side, and so were we. As he stepped off the stage, he came over, hugged me tightly and whispered, "Thanks for handling it." I laughed softly. I always knew you could. That night, Paul and I celebrated quietly at home. He looked at me across the table and said, "I don't know what I would have done without you. You saved my son." I shook my head. He saved himself. I just reminded him of who he was. Sometimes the biggest problems we face aren't the ones we can see, but the ones we carry inside. And all it takes to handle them is someone willing to listen.